from across the room.
Dirty Laundry CT, it's Joey Clifton.
Meatball.
And that, I keep forgetting to plug our opening music.
Why? You used to.
Well, yeah, I used to. That's our good friend Greg over in, I don't know, he's on the West Coast somewhere. In L.A.?
Fortnite, yay.
Yeah, Man's Body. You got to check them out. Look at them for on Facebook and everything. They also he's also got another group called Rough Church, which is unbelievable,
Right,
too.
but Google Man's Body and then click images.
Yeah, and why? No. You're going to see Man's Body. No, but check them out and buy their albums. They're like really, really good. Today's sponsor, another one from Wallingford, O'Brien's Pub, 1257 Old Colony Road in Wallingford.
Technically
Tracy section of Wallingford. Ed O'Brien, the owner, his wife Nancy. Mary Ellen, our good friend, is a bartender there. Lisa, just a whole bunch of...
Everyone is.
And it's a fun time. We like to go on Wednesdays for the open mic night with Davey D.
Right.
And they also have it on Mondays with Dan. Mm-hmm. And they got...
Both great guys.
I think Thursday is ladies' night. I think Saturday or Friday is karaoke. Thursday. Well, anyway, just
Saturday.
go down there and you could order food from Grubhub, but they get pissed at you, so don't do that. Just go there.
They have great food, too.
They do. They have really good cheeseburgers, and their pretzels, the sauce for the pretzels is like this hot sauce with mayonnaise, or I can't remember what it is, but it's really good.
It's good.
Anyway, it's a good local bar. It's like Cheers. You walk in there, everybody knows your name. If they don't know you the first time, they'll know you the second time. Mm-hmm. O'Brien's Pub, 1257 Old Colony Road in Wallingford. How was your week?
Excellent. How was yours?
It was pretty damn good.
What happened?
It was, well, now that the elections are over, so much better. Very, very, very good.
Any feedback on those podcasts?
Well, I ran into Kathy Batista, who, yes, she didn't show up on the show, but
right.
I wrote her a real nice email. She was happy. She said she's definitely coming on once she's out of office, and hopefully we'll get her to spill the beans on all the good local. I told her, I said, I'm really more concerned with, I want to know how things work when you're on the city council. Like us as the public, we could complain about things all the time, and we wonder why. Yeah, and we wonder why they vote certain ways.
Right.
I want to know what happens behind closed doors
the mechanics,
and how it works. So
mechanics of it.
It'll be good. Pole life.
Pole life, out here enjoying the journey. Yeah, it's pole life.
Did you see what he did?
No.
He tattooed his face. Pole life is our local panhandler. And he's got an Instagram account, and you'll see his journey the last 100 and whatever days of living the Poe life.
Yeah, he's doing good.
I guess he got the money to tattoo his face. I think there takes a little special something inside you to get your face tattooed.
Tyson got it done.
Yeah, and
he pulled it off.
There's something. Well, if you say so, there's definitely something going on there to make you tattoo your face.
Go and tell him that you don't like it.
Well, no. I mean, he could do whatever he wants.
Right.
He's his own person, living his Poe life.
Yes.
The charges have been officially dropped on Miguel Castro.
Yep.
So
I want to see all those apologies now. Everyone was talking smack.
Well, no, they're not going to apologize, first of all.
Of
course. For those of you that don't know, Miguel Castro is our local councilman, does a lot for the businesses downtown because that's his district. And he's also an immigration advocate and goes out and protests. And there was one situation where he
karate chopped some officials.
Yeah, we call him Miguelito.
Yeah,
because apparently he's got these skills that
of a ninja.
He could karate chop the marshals at the courthouse. But anyway, there's going to be more of that coming up. I know he's going to do a press conference, and he promised me he would come on the podcast and talk about it after the case was over and closed. And he's also going to release all the videotapes. So that's what I told him. I said, that's the most important thing you can do to clear your name with the public. Forget about the court and the police and all of that. You need to release the videotape so people can physically see with their own eyes.
Well, that's up to him.
You didn't do
if
anything.
He'll do it or not.
Well, if he wants to clear his name, I mean, he might have cleared it with the court, but public opinion, we know how brutal they are with everything. What's the problem? Why'd you move your microphone?
Public opinion you were talking, right?
You don't like change.
He won't be able to change it.
Why'd you move your microphone?
Because I couldn't hear myself in the headphones.
What do you need to hear yourself for? You're talking.
Oh, what, the position of microphone?
Yes.
Because somebody's filter was bouncing off the microphone on the last podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's Castro. We went to the banquet hall building committee meeting. Mm-hmm. And
it was a
not to beat a dead horse. Where did that come from? Did somebody actually beat a dead horse and say, Stop beating that dead horse.
No, they were trying to go somewhere like to the mall.
Yeah.
And the horse died, but they still kept on beating the horse in hopes of arriving at the mall.
They were riding a horse to the mall?
Right.
What year was this?
I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah, so the banquet hall, we're up to $1.9 million now for the banquet hall.
Pocket change for this city.
We did find out Brian Daniels, the councilman that's kind of shoving this down everybody's throat. It's got to be done now before he gets out of office
Right.
on December. And he keeps saying that there was a market study done. He might not even said market study. He said that there was a study done. They did their research, and the study said that Meriden needs a banquet hall.
Study's a study, no matter what.
Well, it kind of offends me every time he says it because, hello, I have
I want to see the study. I want to see the study
So-
just because.
Well, Silver City Ballroom is right downtown. There's a banquet hall, so I don't know what this study was, but anyway, a couple people had FOI'd it to find out where is this study, how do we see it, and there was no study.
Right.
So now we're trying to search through to find out, when did he say that there was a study? I know he said that there was a study.
He said in the finance meeting we went to.
Yeah. Did you see people threw explosives into the police parking lot the other day?
Oh, no.
But then you read the article and you learn it was like a Roman candle. It was a firework.
Right.
And they caught the two kids. One kid was from New Britain, another kid was from Kensington Ave, I think, in Meriden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess there was an off-duty cop out, or he was getting off of work. It was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
In the parking lot in the back of the police station, and
Did they make a big deal out of it? Like it was an attack on police?
you know
force?
what? If you didn't
Stand behind the blue.
see the article, you would have never known it happened. But the article, to me, someone
it.
threw explosives into the parking lot. I was like, oh, whoa, what
Yeah.
happened there? Oh,
Dynamite.
It was a firework.
Dynamite.
Speaking of that, CBS shooting, the Holly
yeah.
case.
Right,
We were
right.
just talking about how come it's been like over a year now and we haven't gotten any information.
Uh-huh.
They cleared all the police in that situation.
Right.
Just to update you on that, there were 2 guys driving in their car
Going
on
to
their way to
work.
work. An undercover car was behind them, kind of chasing them with no lights on or anything in their
Right.
undercover car. So they started getting nervous. They jumped on 691, and they jumped on 91, and they came down on East Main Street. And finally, they pulled in the CBS parking lot because there's so much lights there.
Right.
Apparently, when the guy went to get out of the car, his gun went off. So the police opened fire, and I think there were 4. That's that crime unit. There were like 4 of them in the car. And
3 or 4,
So
yeah.
it was kind of like, look, they were running for their lives because they thought they were being chased by hoodlums
Right.
or whatever. And meanwhile, it was the police. They heard the gun and blah, blah, blah. And no charges filed.
I heard it's not a first time with that unit to identify themselves as police officers, and a lot of cases have been dropped because of that.
Stop whispering.
No,
Yeah. Stop. What did you say?
I forgot.
You forgot already. You
Yeah.
see that? Because you like fall asleep as you're talking.
Right.
So I heard that there was no time.
That's me.
All right. So there's been a lot of things about race lately. UConn.
I think the white guys were walking down the parking lot and recklessly throwing the word around, and somebody recorded it from their window.
Right. Yes, you are correct. And
Thank you.
And what happened with that?
And those guys went to court and they got AR, accelerated rehabilitation, to get the charges dropped.
Okay, so in 3 months it acted like it never happened again.
Right.
And then in Wallingford, just this week, actually, it's really strange. So there's been these signs popping up that say it's okay to be white, or it's all right to be white.
So I think it's okay to be white.
And they've been popping up everywhere on telephone poles, and they've been sticking them everywhere throughout the
Right.
town. And what's strange about this is it happened last November also. This is the second year in a row, for some reason, around November.
You know what I find strange?
What?
That if you go to Wallingford, you can't even fart without cops breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
Yet they didn't know those things were posted all over the town.
Well, maybe they thought it was a lost dog sign or something.
Well, good police work then.
Well, but anyway, a lot of people on social media are saying, well, it's just a stupid sign. It's all right to be white. Well, that's cool. I'm white, and then it's all right.
That's actually
But
too
then-
stupid.
Well, when you do the research on it and realize what it actually stands for, which was the white supremacist, it's like a slogan that they
right.
use and stuff. So we brought in the only black friend we know, Mike Simmons. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how you doing?
Mike, you play in bands. You're all over town all the time. We've known you for quite a while. And one night, we were at O'Brien's, and you were talking about when the KKK came to Meriden. And I thought that was such an interesting story to find out a little bit more about, because, I've only been here maybe 12 years now. And, Meatball moved here from Spokane. Where'd you move from?
Skokie.
Skokie. And,
You're an Oakley from Muskogee?
Yes, that's Meatball. And which, by the way, we posted a really rare photo on our Facebook page, Dirty Laundry CT on Facebook, of a baby Meatball with his mom.
Okay.
There he is. That's his mom with a young Meatball. So make sure you check that out on Facebook. Mike likes that. How old were you in that picture? You look maybe about 5 months, 6 months old.
Only months old.
Only months old. You didn't have your sauce yet.
No,
Right.
I was going to say
the
something,
sauce
but I
didn't
forgot.
come in yet.
So I want to know. Well, first of all, let's do this story first, because I find that really interesting. Now, this was 1980, I think.
Yeah.
And from the backstory I got from it, I didn't do my research and my homework, unfortunately. But
Good job.
no, what I heard was
He
that
spent 2 days preparing for Batista interview.
yeah, I know. Where the mall used to be the Meriden Square was the name of it, and apparently white police officers were in a car and they ran over a black guy. And this caused, and of course they didn't get brought up on charges. I don't know what the situation was. I don't even know why they were chasing him, let alone ran him over. But it caught national attention, and the KKK came to Meriden, to the steps at City Hall, to protest. So where were you at this time?
I was a sophomore in New Britain High School when it was going down. When the riot was going on, I probably had skipped school that day and gone to Meriden. And
Because you saw it on the news that they were going to be here?
I heard through people that it was going down, and we jumped in the car and we went, let's go see what's going on. So we went up there, and when I got there, all I saw was a lot of West Main Street
Right.
was blocked off. Was blocked off by the time we got there. So we had to leave our car literally by the mall and walk.
Really?
Yeah,
There were that many people?
yeah.
And this was just counter-protesters coming because they had heard that they were coming.
Right. It was really strange because there were no pro-Klan people. I saw none. And if there were people there, I didn't see them.
Okay.
But there were no pro-Klan people.
So it was really literally just the Klan with no followers.
You're just a Klan with no followers. They had very large balls to come in.
And how many do you think?
How many Klansmen were there?
Yeah.
I don't know, about 100.
Really?
Yeah. There was a lot.
I mean, I've seen the pictures of all of them on the steps with the hoods, and then I guess after they did whatever they did at in front of City Hall, then they marched up West Main towards where Stop and Shop is now by the church.
Right.
And I think some fights broke out there.
Yeah, you did.
And but that's just crazy, and it made national news.
Yes, it did.
So what did you actually do while you were there? Like, was the Grand Wizard was giving a speech, I'm assuming?
I didn't see the Imperial Wizard giving any speeches, but I did see different colored robes walking and running.
Yeah.
And dodging rocks and sticks and stuff because people were really pissed at them for being there.
Excellent.
The red ones were like the higher up guys,
Yeah.
right?
The bishop.
The white ones are like the lower level
Regular
races.
priests.
Yeah, the white ones are they're schmucks. They're just
And they
Nobody's-
came from other states, right?
yes,
To
they
come
did.
Here.
Yes, they did. They came from different states. They came from different cities.
Now, what did was our mayor at the time there? Was our governor there? Was anybody from Connecticut or Meriden there? Or it was just because I guess they had to get a permit, right, to have a protest? So
Well, I would think that they got a permit for that. I don't know that deep into it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they had to get some kind of. But one thing I know they didn't have police protection.
No, and they didn't have bats.
No. So, but the locals did.
Yeah.
Like I said, those are some brave dudes because the majority of the people that were beating up the Klan and throwing rocks were white.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of white people protesting?
Yes, there were. Yes, there were. You will be amazed how many of white local people
Right.
were actually protesting that. So we hung out for a while, and then we said, well, the hell with it. We're going to go back to New Britain. So we went back to school. They came to our school.
Really? In New Britain after Meriden?
After Meriden. And
Why your school?
I don't know, because I think it was close.
What school was it?
New Britain High School.
Okay.
It's just down the road.
Pretty much. So to get there from here in Meriden, all you got to do is go up the Chamberlain Highway.
Right.
You know, and that's what they did.
Probably
And they
because
came
their
to our
cars
school.
were at the mall.
Yeah, probably,
So
yeah.
it's easy to
and
get out
they're-
there.
you know, and they came and they were like literally like trying to recruit. This is no lie. I had a friend of mine whose dad was a Nam vet. He comes running out of the woods with a flamethrower, dude. He comes out of the woods and there are these Klan dudes. All of a sudden, this guy comes running up, going, yo, with a flamethrower. I said, "Oh my God, that's John. What
Yeah.
where the hell did he get a flamethrower?"
You can swear, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and freaked me out, man. I was like, then I asked him, I said, "Dude, where the fuck did you get a fucking flamethrower, dude?" I'm like, dude. You know, I got a rifle.
Well, they use
you
them.
know.
They use them out west. Like they call them weed burners. They burn the weeds with the little propane tank.
I
and
think
the
they're a little
flame-
Yeah,
different.
this
They're a little
this
different.
thing was throwing fucking fire, dude. and Klan dudes were running because where Beehive Field is now, where they play football and baseball and shit. That's where they had it.
Yeah.
The Willowbrook?
Yeah, and people were, when this dude came out, dude, people were going nuts, dude.
Right.
Klan dudes were running over top of each other trying to get away.
But what did they? Were they
course.
just like when they got to the school? Were they all just standing in a line, standing there, or like you said that they were trying to recruit people? So
They were trying to recruit people. Some of them spoke with bullhorns.
right,
Some of them were, and of course, nobody listened to these guys.
right.
Right.
You know, and it was funny because whatever violence happened at that time, the black people didn't do nothing. We stood and watched.
Yeah.
The white people threw them out.
We're fighting each other.
Yeah, the white people were like, "Get the fuck out of here!
Right.
We're gonna kick your ass."
Yeah.
And that's when my friend came out with the flamethrower, dude. I swear to God, I'm like, where the hell did he get a flamethrower, dude?
Did he get any of them?
No, they saw it. They saw it and they took off running. They just went,
Yeah.
and just started. I'm like, dude.
So why? I still don't understand. It's just strange. Why New Britain? Like, was there a huge black population in the school? But if they're going there to recruit,
Well, there
then
was a large-
they would go to a white school, wouldn't they?
Well, you would think they would, but however, New Britain High has a very diverse school.
Right.
When I was going there, there was lots of people of color.
Right.
There were black people. There were Puerto Rican people. The majority of the school was white people.
Yeah.
Right.
The majority is
Well, New Britain only has one high school.
now.
And technical school.
Now, but by 1980, there were still two high schools.
Other two high schools?
Yeah, Pulaski was a high school still.
Oh, so they used to have two, and it went
Yeah.
down to one.
Yeah, I went to both and was thrown out of both.
What'd you do?
Well,
Don't admit on tape.
I don't think you'll get in trouble now.
I won't get in trouble now. It's been almost goddamn 4 years.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous?
Man.
Do you go to any of your high school reunions?
Well, because I bogarted them.
Yeah.
Basically, I went to my 20th totally uninvited. They had it at a golf course in Farmington. They had it at Farmington Golf Course. I didn't have any tickets.
Yeah.
Fuck a ticket. I'm Michael Simmons. I'll go wherever I want. So I just pulled up in my car and got out.
Yeah.
And walked in, looked right at the guy at the door and said hi. He said hi. I kept walking. I walked in and I saw a bunch of people, and they were like, there were some people that were really happy to see me, and there was still a lot of the snobby people that were like bitches to me in school that were still bitches then.
Do you think it's better or worse now, racism, as opposed to, like, I'm sure you can't really compare because back then you were in New Britain, you were in high school, now you're an adult, you're in Meriden. Do you see any difference between then and now, or do you just kind of think it's the same?
Well,
Because I see a lot of, like, again, the things in Wallingford with the white signs popping up everywhere. And I think not too long ago, the KKK had like recruitment pamphlets that were Where were those passed out? They were passed out somewhere.
I think people are leaving them in the random like Walmarts and stuff
Yeah.
on the shelves.
But
Yeah, they would, because they used to do that.
Yeah.
They would wait till nighttime, fucking cowards. They would wait at nighttime, and there'd be people inside, like, shopping, doing whatever, and you go outside, and you got, like, Klan,
material
material on your windshield.
Yeah.
Because they used to just literally put it up and put it on your windshield.
Yeah.
Of your car. They just carpet the whole driveway.
Right.
And they didn't know if the person was white or black or Puerto Rican or what.
Yeah.
They just put it on the car.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it.
Because I'm under the understanding, from what everybody tells me, Berlin is extremely racist at Wallingford and North Haven.
Well, one of my best friends, one of my lifelong friends, in fact, lives in Berlin. But the funny thing was, I was at the Berlin Fair one year. It had to be around 1982 or 83. And I was walking with my white girlfriend, and there was a biker-looking dude with a big beard. He saw me, and he saw me with my girlfriend. He tried to hit me with his car. He did. And my friend Vinny Given saved my life. He grabbed me and pulled me into the bushes on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Because this dude was flying up the road. He was going to hit me with his car and try to hit me and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is like when I was in high school, my friend Paul, he went to Berlin High School. When I was in high school, I used to terrorize Berlin, in fact. I used to terrorize it. These guys were like, let's call Mike. They're having a party. It's Berlin High School jocks, and we want to scare them, so we're going to bring Mike.
You were the threat.
Yeah, so they'd call me up. I'd jump in my GTO, and I'd pull up, and I'm like, all right, where's the party? Well, I go in, and I'm the guy that was walking, and I'm the guy walking with the bottle of Jack that's already open. I'm sipping it while I'm driving because I was out of my mind then, and I used to terrorize Berlin.
Yeah. So that explains a lot then. Why they are the way they are now?
Is it because there was a rivalry between New Britain High School and Berlin High?
There was a rivalry. A lot of the Berlin High jocks didn't really mess with me because they knew that if they put their hands on me, they'd so get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to understand, we're from New Britain. We don't give a shit. if you come fucking with us with some bullshit, we'll go to your house.
Yeah.
We'll walk in there like militia and whoop your ass in your house.
It still seems like you have a little bit of that rivalry, and it never goes away.
No, it's still part of it's there.
And did Berlin High have a lot of black population in it?
No. There was enough. Dude, let me tell you something. If a hitman was looking for a brother in Berlin, he'd find him. They'd be like, there he is, get him.
That's the one.
That's the one.
The one that's here.
The one, yeah.
And is that still a case, you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear.
Yes.
I hear it all the time that it's very
Yes,
racist
it's
there.
really racist. It's really racist. And there's not a lot of people of color in that town.
But you could say the same thing about. I mean, like Cheshire is a hugely white population, but you don't ever hear anything about racism in Cheshire.
No, you don't.
So I don't know whether that comes from the top down.
I think Berlin is sandwiched in between New Britain and Meriden, so it's a little odd to find that it's predominantly white.
yeah, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, they're sandwiched in between,
Right. Very mixed populations.
because there's no hood in Berlin.
No, there's barely a downtown.
I know.
Well, same with Cheshire.
Yeah.
There's barely a downtown,
barely-
but yet they're not. I mean, I always see. I mean, Wallingford seems to get it. What I thought was interesting about what happened this week with the "It's all right to be white" notes.
Yeah.
The mayor didn't even know about it. Now he just got reelected for like the 40,000th.
That's what I was
time or
saying. The
whatever.
mayor police didn't know about it until
No.
the news contacted them.
Right. And one of the counselors spoke out about it on record saying, we don't condone this in Wallingford. And the mayor was like, what are you talking about? So
Really?
Yeah,
He didn't even know.
He had no clue. But we hear it all the time at the bars that, if you're leaving the bar late, don't drive to Wallingford because
Don't.
they'll get you. But is it a race thing though?
No, it's a board thing.
Yeah.
It's a board thing.
But I thought there was a race thing in Wallingford.
There was.
Statistically wise, you can't
because
even
I tell you, when I was playing in metal bands, I used to go to Cherry Street Station a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'd get all fucked up, right? And I would drive home. I'm talking close one eye and use the force
All right.
to get home. I never once got pulled over.
So you've never been racially profiled?
Never, because I have the force.
Yeah.
That's why I was never racially profiled ever.
Wilcox Technical School is extremely racist. If you talk to a kid that goes to Wilcox that's Spanish or black, they will tell you how racist it is because it's predominantly white.
Well, Goodwin Tech's like that too.
Yeah.
Goodwin Tech in New Britain.
And I think it's because it's a technical school, you've got people from all over, not just from Meriden.
And
in
all
that
over
school.
people are rednecks.
And they also expect people of color not to be able to
Keep up with the white
keep
people.
up with-
yeah, you're not good enough to go to a technical
to
school.
go to a
Stick with
technical
the-
school.
Really?
So why don't you just go be,
Well, Meatball went to high school here. What
Right.
school did you go to?
I went to Platt.
And how was it there?
It was very diverse and it was very nice. Everyone was friends. There was no such thing as color.
Right.
And I enjoyed it a lot.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
And it's right next door to Wilcox, which is a little bit odd, I guess.
Well, because again, Wilcox isn't people predominantly from Meriden; it's all over.
and
Because
yeah,
it's
right,
technical
right,
school.
right. Connecticut's pretty racist.
Connecticut can be quite racist. I mean, in some places I think are more subtle.
But usually when we think about racism, it's down south, deep south. Everyone's racist.
Well, yeah, everybody goes, well, it is, but they're the scapegoat.
Right.
Up here in the north, the majority of race riots in the United States happened in the north.
Right.
They didn't happen in the south. St. Louis,
Yeah.
Chicago.
Wallingford.
There's almost. There was almost a race riot in Wallingford when
Right.
Jesse Jackson came back in the 90s.
That was the library thing, right?
Yeah.
Explain that. What
I
happened?
think there was an issue that Martin Luther King wasn't celebrated. Is that
Right,
Am I
because
right?
they don't celebrate Martin Luther King in Wallingford.
Okay.
It's not that they're racist, it's just that they don't spend the money for the holiday because it's an elective holiday.
Right. And
You
they
don't have to take Martin Luther
Right.
King Day off.
Right, and they don't want to pay their employees for taking the day off.
Right.
They can
It's,
afford to pay their employees.
If they can afford to pay their employees, Wallingford's got nice homes. Wallingford's got people. There's people would go there.
And
Right.
a lower mill rate.
And a lower mill rate. So they
And better
got money.
electric.
And better restaurants.
Yeah.
So Jesse Jackson came to protest?
Jesse Jackson came to protest. It had to be 1996 or
And I think the
7.
Klan showed up too, no?
I don't know. I didn't see any Klan, but I definitely saw some flannel wearing fucking
Yeah.
big beard, white trash, Travis Tritt, country music people.
Mike,
Right.
you know you're wearing flannel, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to clear that up a little bit. I don't own any flannel. I got pissed
Flannel's
off.
warm.
One time I
Yeah,
got
this is a thick one too. So
it was so funny. I got so pissed off because I was in the Walmart parking lot one night. And I'm I was leaving the store. I'm in my car.
Smoking a doobie.
And this guy in front of me, he's not moving. So I go around him. I make the left-hand turn to come out to Route 5. And when I made the left-hand turn, I may have cut off somebody. And somebody screamed out, "You effing white trash." And I was like, I was so offended. I had never been called white trash before.
Right.
Now, when I think of white trash, I think of you white girls that go to Stop and Shop in your pajama bottoms to go buy your food. That's what I think of white trash.
We just lost half listeners.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
sorry, didn't mean to scream into your mic. That's funny.
that's
but
what
let me
I
tell you
think.
something. You're partially correct.
Yeah.
White trash comes in all.
sure.
Let me tell you. I know white trash people that have money.
Yeah.
Right.
They're the scary ones because they have money, so they can talk shit. And I'm like, why these fucking white trash people? I'm like, why are they just act like they should be living in a trailer park. What did they hit the lotto or something? They own a
Right,
house.
right, right.
Yeah.
They got a house. They got nice cars and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
did they hit lotto or something? I'm like, these are
Well,
some
no,
white
and I
trash-ass
agree with that
people.
because I know somebody that they're extremely wealthy, doing well off, and if you looked at their house or you looked at them, you would think that they're just scraping by and they don't really care what their clothes look like, and and you would never know it. They hide their money underneath their mattress. I won't give you the address because you're black and I don't want you going over there and stealing anything.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, though? Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, ghetto has no color.
No, hood has no color.
No, not at all.
Hood has no color because I tell you something. I know some ghetto ass white chicks. I moved here in '96, but when I first
From New
moved,
Britain.
I moved here from
New York.
New York because I was born in New York, and I said the first time I was ever people don't like to use that word, but I can use it because I don't give a shit.
Go ahead, use it.
The first time I was ever called a nigger was here in Connecticut,
In Connecticut, not
In
in New
Connecticut.
York, of course.
Which
not.
town?
Plainville.
Out of all towns, it was Plainville.
Plainville. Back in the '70s, Plainville was Klanland.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's still predominantly white, no?
Yeah, but it was Klanland.
And what was the situation that somebody called you that?
Believe it or not, me and my brother, I was 12. My brother was 13 and a half. We were actually living at our cousin's house because, my parents got divorced, so, we came to move up here. And so we were walking down the street minding our own business. People drove up in their car, rolled the window down, and just screamed, "Nigger!" Rolled up the window and took off. And me and my brother stood there and looked puzzled for a minute because we were like, what the fuck's his problem?
Yeah.
Right.
And why would they do that? And
That's how I felt at Walmart with the white trash comment. I felt exactly like that. I know. I feel you. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not exactly.
Yeah, I've never been. Yeah, where I lived in New York, I lived in New Rochelle, New York. That's where I'm from.
New Rock City.
New Rock City. All of my friends were either on this part of New Rochelle, they were Irish. On this part of New Rochelle, they were Italians. The Irish people never called me a nigger.
Right.
The Italian people never called me a nigger.
That's because us Italians are part.
Especially them, because they're not American Italians.
Right.
These
were
people
real.
were off the boat. And they have a lot of respect for American people. They really do. And even as a child, I was able to feel that respect. And we got along fine.
That's very interesting.
Me and the kids would hang out. Even the kids had accents. Me and the kids, we'd go out. We played fucking stickball. We had parties. If we had a party, if it was my birthday, the whole family was invited to my house. And they'd come to my house, So there'd be black folks partying, there'd be Italian folks partying, and everybody's dancing and having drinks and doing.
And then you come to Connecticut.
And then I come to.
But hold on. So you felt more comfortable around immigrant people from somewhere else than.
Well, no, it's not that he
your
felt
own-
comfortable.
Not necessarily.
It's the way he grew up.
It's the way I grew up. It's not necessarily I felt more comfortable around immigrant people. It's just the fact that immigrant people were around me.
But they were more respectful of you than.
They were respectable because of the fact that because they're immigrants.
Right.
Yeah.
These people came to America to be something. And they're going to be something. In order to be something, you have to be somebody.
Well, and they
so
probably looked up to you because you were an American, and they wanted to be. They didn't see the color; they saw, "Hey, you're American.
Right.
We want a life like yours."
Right, and they were very, very, very nice. The only problems that I had with Italian people is the Italian-American ones from Yonkers.
Right.
Huh. And they were the only ones, And I don't want to use the word, but yeah, they were fucking Guidos, man.
Yeah.
They were,
Guido isn't a bad name.
That's not a bad name, but they could.
That's a middle name.
Well, no, it's funny because if you look at racial slurs, like cracker, to me, cracker is like it's
funny.
It's almost laughable.
Yeah, because it's such an old word.
I don't get it.
What about fish belly?
Or Casper? But
I was called that.
You were called Casper?
Yes, I was. I was called Casper.
Were they blind?
They obviously were.
Did you do whiteface during Halloween?
No, I did not. You know where they got it from? They associated with the racist word spook.
Okay. Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
But Casper is usually for white people.
Yeah, but I would put spook on the same category as cracker. Like they're funny sounding.
It is such a
words,
dumb, stupid, racist word.
But yet the N word has lasted just as long and is just as is 100 times worse.
Right.
I won't say it because I don't need to say it. Nor do I feel I have a right. But a good question is, one of our friends that has a place, she calls everybody nigga with the
Nigga
A
with
at
an
the
A.
end.
She's white.
And she's white. And I told her, I said, how do you, she'll say it over and over.
She's
And you know
hood,
what?
probably.
But she will, well, she's definitely hood. She will call black people that. She will call white people that. She will call Spanish people that. She'll call everybody that. She calls us that. And I'm like, wait a minute. First, but when she calls me that, I laugh and it's funny. But when I see her call a black person that, and she's white, I asked her the other day, I said, how do you get away with that? God forbid, if I were to say that to a black person, I'd have my teeth knocked out and I'd be on the floor. How do you get away with that? And why? And she's like explaining to me, well, it's the way I'm saying. I'm saying it in a light like, hey, you're my brother, you're my sister. Like, I said, but you're white. How are you doing this?
Right.
And why do you do it? So I can't explain that. Do those words offend you depending on who they're coming from? Because obviously another black man calling you the N-word does not offend you, I would assume, but a white person would.
It's a difficult
I
one.
stumped him.
He's thinking.
Well, because I always think, okay, like there's a lot of black activists out there that want to get rid of the N-word. They want it banned. They don't ever want it used
Right.
again. But then when you get into hip-hop music and just any social interaction between
Right.
black people, they call each other the N-word.
They've been
So you
calling each other
can't-
that for years.
Right, so-
I have jazz records where they call each other niggers.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll Morton from the 1930s. Mm-hmm. Brothers calling other brothers niggers.
With
You
the
know.
A at the end or ER at the end?
No, it's with A.
No,
Niggers.
wait, with an A.
Yeah. And
See,
this is-
I thought
and
that
this
was-
is the 1930s.
Right.
Maybe I'm dumb. I thought
no.
that they added the A at the end to make it more acceptable. I didn't realize that that's been around that long also.
Absolutely, it has. Back then, they used to, they call you a jive ass nigger.
Right.
Turkey.
They said that back turkey 70s. Jive ass nigger. That's 1935.
What does jive?
That was a
A jive ass nigger means you're full of shit.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. I always thought it was like cool cat, you know?
we're
Like,
learning.
In fact, I was hanging out at JC's one night,
Uh-huh.
and there was a woman there who called a man nigger with the A, but she said it in anger, and she was thrown out.
right.
it's the context.
Well, and that's what my friend said. It's the
It's
way
how
you use
she
it.
said it.
Yeah.
It's how she said it.
It's like when I call meatball cracker. I use the A at the end.
I prefer
Cracker.
fish. Blah.
You prefer fish belly?
Yes. please.
I don't call white people crackers.
So were there any?
You know why? Because I like that shit in my soup.
Yeah.
So I don't call people
You
crackers.
salty cracker.
No, if I'm with a man, I know some pretty racist white words. I learned them from my family from down south.
Tell me now, because I want to see if I'd be offended by any of them.
We pull up the list and make fun of it
Yeah.
on Google.
Have you ever heard the phrase peckerwood?
Peckerwood, yeah, that's again laughable.
Right. You can't get offended at that.
With his peckerwood, what's the other ones, man? My dad told me a bunch of them because he's from North Carolina, born in the 30s.
Yeah. they're laughable. White trash gets me of all the ones because I see what white trash is and I know I'm not that.
And they're
so
trash.
then it offends me because I'm not that.
Right. So any recent incidents where you were a part of that still bring that racism back for
Come
you?
on, Peckerwood, get it out of there.
I do see it in the music business as well.
Where do the Spanish people fit into everything?
Chalupa.
Chalupa. It's Taco Bell.
Well, they're Spanish, but that's they're Mexican. That's Mexican.
But Mexicans are natives.
That's a whole. Yeah, they are native.
right.
They are native, and that's what white people don't get. That.
A lot of people forget that Mexico owned a lot of Texas and California.
Yeah.
Well, it was all
Texas
North
is
America was
Texas-
North America.
Texas is a
Right.
Spanish word,
Right.
Just like California
Right.
is a Spanish word.
San Diego,
San Diego.
Los Angeles. Keep going.
Right.
Santa Monica.
San Antonio.
So they're not really illegal immigrants then if they're going back to their own native land.
You know what? Technically, I don't believe they are.
yeah.
Right.
Because the Republic of Texas is Mexico, man.
Right. But a lot of people tend to forget that.
But it was all North America.
But throughout the history, quote unquote, white people tend to forget things that they did wrong to other groups.
Yeah, well, not only do they tend to forget, but
They omit them.
there's this thing. There's this indoctrination. It's indoctrination. It's
Right.
it's all taught us in schools. I still have this mission to convince white people that I'm not African.
Well, but you got to
So-
also
so what's-
understand to be politically correct, which everybody is going crazy about these days. It went from Negro to African. No, it might have been black. Then it was African. Then it was African American. Now I think it's just back to black again. I'm not really sure.
These are words made up by democratic slave owners.
Right. Of course.
These are words because if I know two people. Their names are Charles and Belinda. Both of them are from Cape May. They're white. They're Africans. They live here. They're African American.
right.
I'm not.
Right. Of course.
I'm not. On my father's side of the family, my grandmother and my great-grandmother are Iroquois. On my mother's side, my grandmother and my great-grandmother are Cherokee. I am indigenous.
Right. So you're more Native American than
I am a more American than American.
Yeah.
That's why if I say something to Joe White Patriot about some things that I disagree with, they will, you don't like it, leave. I get that. I'm like, first of all, what's your last name?
Right.
And they go, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're a fucking Polak. Okay.
I'm offended.
I'm like, you're a fucking Polak, dude.
Yeah.
Your grandparents came off a boat.
Right.
To come here. So your ass could be born. Shuts him down.
Yeah, but why?
But when they talk to you, they don't see the Native American, obviously.
No, you know the reason why
color.
they just see color.
Right.
I can tell you why. There's this thing in our indoctrinated school system called eugenics. Now, the whole thing with eugenics is this. Melville Hiskovics, now the man who came up with the whole idea with eugenics now, this man took a trip to Africa, came back here, saw us, Black Indians. All he did, basically, was just associate us color-wise. That's all he did. And when he started doing these studies, he started getting financial backing from Henry Ford, from J.P. Morgan, from Woodrow Wilson, from
What kind of studies?
the supposed evolution
Right.
of us.
Right. Like, where did these people come from and how are they here now?
No,
Right.
more like who's superior to who.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's exactly what eugenics is.
Right.
Yeah.
And eugenics, all eugenics is
Right.
just a theory to keep white supremacy. That's all it is.
We all came from Africa, though, right?
Europeans did. We didn't.
No, they were here.
I thought it was one
let me
big
tell you
mess of
something.
land.
I'm gonna
Pangea?
Absolutely.
School me.
Absolutely. Now, let me tell you something. Pangea, you are correct. Pangea. There were people walking, because they tried to tell you that there was no people walking when Pangea was around, which is a lie.
Right.
There were people walking around. How do you think they got to different parts of the
Right.
window?
Yeah,
regions.
of course.
If you were to drain the earth and take all the water out, you will see that Africa is still attached to Europe.
Underneath. Well, yeah, sure.
No, it
Africa,
is.
Africa is still geologically attached to Europe.
Right.
Well, it's really just
but
by
even
the
Asia-
Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, because I also, because I got a friend, her name is Michelle. She lives in New York. Beautiful girl, extremely Sicilian, very Sicilian, beautiful girl, man.
She talks with her hands.
Yes, she does. She talks her hands.
I have that disease.
She talks with her hands, but don't piss her off. She's only this big, but don't piss her off because she'll punch you in the mouth because she doesn't play.
I'll try not
Right. She admits, she's like, yo, dude, I got more African in me than you do.
Well, that's why I said it
Right.
before. I'm Sicilian, and that was Sicily was used as the jail for all of the black people that were in Italy. They would just ship them to Sicily.
Right. And also, did you know that 3,000 years ago, Sicily was Islamic?
Well, I think
It was a
I think
stronghold of Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it all that connects with Mauritania and all that stuff in northern Africa.
that just-
that's all still Muslim.
That just shows us that we're all more the same than different.
Yes.
well, yeah. Well, we are in a lot of ways.
Right.
That was deep, Meatball. Good job.
try
He
something.
gets it every now and then.
Yeah, me
Dude, you could see when the light bulb goes off, too.
right. The room gets
light
brighter.
bulb. No, it gets darker, you dummy.
Well,
Well, you're Polish, too, right? So that would be.
Polish. Well, nothing against Polish people. I love Polish people. I moved to New
Well, New
Britain.
Britain, yeah,
I moved to
predominantly.
New Britain, I got to meet a lot of Polish people and got to hang out with a lot of Polish people and got to
Well, you need
understand a lot of Polish
You need to
culture.
know at least 99 of them, right?
Well, I know
To screw in the light bulb. You need 99 of them to turn the house.
Well, yeah, pretty much, right? I had no idea you were Polish until. I thought you were just like some Italian dude.
Think about
No,
this.
it's the Skokie accent. that throws you
Okie
off.
from Muskogee. I'm just an Okie from Muskogee.
Talk about your music now. You're singing now. You're in a band.
Yes.
We see you all the time. Then the band got broken up, and then, dude, you got the band back together.
Yeah, we got the band back
You got
together.
the band back together. You're
Yes, we did.
recording.
Yes.
And how is it going? Good.
Yeah.
You got
It's
Facebook page?
Yes, we do. You can find us Taking Back Autumn. Facebook, Taking Back Autumn.
and it's you and Tim.
It's me.
Tim being the white part.
Yeah.
Do you, in that context, do you, when you guys go out on the road, do you feel people treat you differently because of the color?
I'm still trying to answer that question. Well, to tell you the truth,
Yes. That's
You
all we
you
want.
were telling me a story where you just played recently somewhere. It was an uncomfortable.
it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was. Believe it or not, those are Russian people.
You
what happened
two
was-
guys do, but I don't.
Me and Tim were playing at this establishment, and there was a family because I said the place was predominantly Russians, and there was a family that was sitting at the far end of the restaurant. Obviously, this guy was some important dude, because when this guy walked in, they fucking stood straight up. You know, we're playing. They didn't want me to play.
So Tim was okay, just not the black guy.
They said the black guy was too loud, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. We're coming out of the same PA system.
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going.
Right.
One of the waitresses comes over and says, you guys need to chill out for a little while because some bullshit birthday thing. I didn't see a cake.
Right.
Right.
What kind of birthday is that? You're going to have in a public place. It's your birthday.
It's a
How you gonna
Russian
have
birthday.
there's no cake.
Vodka.
There's no, I didn't even see that. I seen a bunch of food, but I'm like, it's
They
a
weren't
birthday.
Russian then.
They were Russian as hell, dude. They didn't even speak English. We're like, fine, whatever, okay.
Right.
30 minutes went by, 45 minutes went by, 90 minutes went by. And we were like, hey, man, what's the holdup?
And you're waiting for your cake.
And we're waiting to go back on. I didn't give a shit about their cake. They can choke on that shit. We ended up being asked to leave.
But how did you find out it was because of the color issue? She told you? Or it was just obvious?
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
You can taste it.
If you have experienced it a lot,
Right.
you'll know it when you see it.
Yeah.
You know? Or you can walk into a place and you can vibe a place, man.
But do you
Yeah.
get it a lot?
Not as much as I used to, but I still do.
Yeah.
I still do. I believe there's a lot of places that we can't play because of me.
Yeah. Really?
And I told Tim a couple of times, I said, if I quit this group right now, you probably get more shows.
More money and more ladies, of course.
See, but I would think that in music, like, people turn a blind eye.
No, they don't. You'll be amazed.
So music still has color associated with it.
Yeah.
No, like, what was that movie we just watched? Oh, it was excellent. And it was the
Terminator.
no, it was the black jazz player. Was it the piano?
He needed to have a white escort with him.
Right, and he got the Italian guy from Brooklyn or whatever to drive him around on tour through the South. But it was an excellent movie, and it was his job. He got paid by the record label and said, "Here's half of the money now. Make sure he gets to every single gig and plays every single gig, and when you get back, here's the other half of the money." And the guy was like a typical white old New York Italian guy who, wasn't intentionally racist, but didn't realize that his words hurt.
The name of the movie?
Yeah.
Green Book.
Green Book. Oh, it just came out like not that long ago. And, it was an excellent, but the majority of the places that this guy played at were old, white, rich people's mansions in the South.
Right.
So that's why I would think you turn a blind eye with music, because they still appreciate, even if they could be racist as all hell, but yet they would still invite him in. Like, I think the one
Music
scene
comes
was...
the savage beast.
I think the one scene was he couldn't use the restroom in the house. They made him use the restroom in the back. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to use this restroom. And they're like, no, you're not. And he laughed. And it was, well, you got to see the movie. But so you don't think that's true, though, that they turn a blind eye to that?
Some places do. I can admit that. Some places do. I've gone to open mics where, everybody else is cool, because if you do open mic, you can, there's a person that hosts it. And it's like, you got, they're responsible for their own backline PA system, blah, 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 everything like that. I went to an open mic, Berlin or Cheshire, one of those towns. That when I went up to go play, they asked me if I had my own rig.
Oh, they wouldn't let you play on the house rig.
That's happened.
And do you ever give it back to them? In other words, or do you just say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with this, and you just leave? Or do you actually take a stand and...
Or does it depend on the mood?
Yeah. Although I'm not going to leave without saying something, because I'm not going to go out like a bitch. I'm not a coon.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to be.
That's our city manager, by the way.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Well,
He's a white guy.
Well, imagine what he had to deal with growing up.
I know, right?
On the other hand, do you think you get a special treatment because of your color? Like people patronize you because maybe they feel guilty about
I
something?
have. I've gotten that.
Is that black privilege?
Is it black privilege? I wouldn't say it was black privilege, but I it's a sense of like an exploitation in a sense.
Right. But it makes you feel awkward, right?
It does make you feel weird. You know what else makes me feel really strange?
What's that?
When I'm playing at an open mic, knowing that I'm playing rock and roll all night.
Right.
Somebody walks up because I'm black, asks me to play funk.
No, but don't you think that's because you're a bass player?
No, it's because I'm black.
Because I do like when you do play funk.
Yeah.
I've heard you with the bass, but I didn't know that was a colored thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they asked me to either play funk or they asked me to play. They always ask me to play something that's associated with my race. Mm-hmm. Do you know any Hendrix?
On bass?
Well, yeah, Jimi Hendrix had a bass player. His name was Noel Redding, but he was a white guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
But they never asked me, "Hey, man, you know any Dylan songs?" Or.
But it's all about the context, right? You can kind of taste where it's that request is coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I've seen it. We saw it firsthand. There was a night we were all at the same bar, and when you left, what did the guy say to him? He said, "Have a good night, boy."
He was very condescending.
We were there that night and,
Yeah.
and saw that, and it was like nobody said any. I mean, we all know that this guy's a jerk, and nobody likes this guy. We all know who it is, and nobody said anything. It kind of pissed me off that nobody said anything. But then again, I didn't say anything either, and you left anyway, and it was kind of like I think somebody may have said something. I think the bartender. I'm not
Could
sure.
have. That's unnecessary,
Yeah.
kind of.
There was another place that Taking Back Autumn played. We played at a place called Rail 99, Cromwell. Mary Ellen was there. Mary Ellen came to the gig.
Excellent.
We were on break. I'd go outside, go have a cigarette, you know? There's a local.
Cromwellian.
Is that what you called him?
Looked right at Mary Ellen and said, I'm going to ask that guy about, say, because, you're not supposed to wear motorcycle colors in the bar.
You had a what, leather jacket on?
No. This is what this moron did. I walk out, light cigarette, say hello, talking to Mary Ellen.
Right.
I'm not even talking to this guy. He goes, hey, man, can't you read the sign, no colors?
Because he's calling you a colored person.
Right. So
That's messed up.
I turned and I looked at Mary Ellen and said, I'm going in.
Right.
And I went in. Mary Ellen tore that dude a new ass.
Yeah, I bet she did. She ain't gonna stand up for that. I mean, she ain't gonna stand down for that.
But do you know how I feel in those kind of situations? Dude, you have a problem. It's your problem. Don't make it my problem.
yeah,
If you're messed up in your head, be messed up in your head. I'm not going to fix it by saying anything to you because you're already not right.
Right.
yeah, but
It's
that's
better off to just walk away.
racism in a nutshell. If everybody, you want to be racist, but be racist to yourself. Don't involve other people.
Right, but like when people say Polish jokes or whatever, skokie jokes, you know what?
Cookie jokes.
If it's funny, I'll laugh with you. If it's stupid, it's on you. It's not my problem. You're not going to ruin my night. So let me ask you this. What is a coon?
Wait, what do you mean?
What is a coon?
What is a coon?
Besides our city manager here in Meriden.
No, not him.
It's like a black person that's down in a race.
Not necessarily a person that's down on their race, but it's a black person that lets white people be down on their race.
So it's a mindset
Yeah.
that you had at the time growing up.
Yeah.
That you knew where your place was.
Sort of. Yeah.
And it wasn't until you got out of that.
So going with that, can black people or any other minority be racist? Because there's a lot of say I cannot be racist because I'm a minority.
Oh no, there's I know Mexican people that are racist towards other Mexicans. I
Well,
know
but-
Puerto Ricans that are
Right.
racist towards other Puerto Ricans.
So anyone
Yeah,
could be
black.
racist toward
yeah.
anyone else.
Well, my grandmother was. I didn't know she was. Here's this woman of color born in North Carolina in 1909. She graduated high school, which was amazing.
Right.
She went to school and became a nurse.
Wow.
What did she do for a living, do you think?
Cleaned
tended-
houses.
Absolutely.
Cleaned houses.
Clean houses for white people.
She tended to white people.
She tended to white people. And when my grandmother was sick, those people, I never heard a word from them,
Well, she was replaceable, right?
obviously.
She was an appliance, so you could call it like that.
An appliance.
Well, sadly, it's true,
Kind of.
right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like a living tool.
Yeah.
Now,
I know a lot of tools. Let me
So
tell
I
you.
know some tools too, man.
There's a lot of tools.
Are we progressing away from that kind of attitude? How come United States or this region or Meriden can just be not racist?
See, the younger generation of people that are coming up right now,
Right.
they're the least racist people
Oh, of
on
course.
the planet.
Of course.
But what about Trump? If you throw Trump into that mix,
You going there?
yes, because it's a big
Have to go there.
right.
We're
right
talking
now.
about a man that used racism to win an election.
Right. Would that mess with the minds of the younger generation?
No, because they can't stand him.
So they'll see that he's
Well,
not
you
right.
hope that they can't.
So it'll actually help.
Yeah, because I tell you, I know a lot of young white people.
Right.
A lot of young white people that are my kids' age. They're 22 years old.
Right.
They don't give a shit about him.
Right.
They don't. They don't care about him at all.
Of his attitude.
Well, their generation doesn't see it like that.
Well, also, I
Good,
think young kids aren't really into politics. You know what I
No.
mean? If
but
you're
young kids
a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, even a 14 or 15-year-old, and your parents have like a debate on, you think that kid is really going to be into
Right,
it?
'cause you'll be
Maybe
amazed.
about the governor they won't, but the
You'd be
president.
amazed how many
they'll
young
see.
people aren't racist, but you'd be amazed how many are, like the situation at UConn.
Right.
Right.
I don't think that kids are stupid.
But let
And
me
they,
ask you
they
this.
do things without realizing that, or they
People are
just
stupid,
want to
though.
get a rile up somebody and get an expression out of someone.
Well, yeah, but they have no idea that they're going to walk up on the wrong person in the
Right,
program one day
right,
and do
of
that.
course.
Right.
And they're going to end up getting their throat cut.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what do you
definitely.
think legally, if they were walking down the parking lot yelling the N word, should a legal system kind of address that or not?
I don't think
should.
so. I don't think so. I think they should just get their ass beat.
Well, I think they should get their ass beat too.
But should they go to jail for that?
I mean, if the police see it, then perhaps. But if the police don't see it, then they should get their ass kicked.
Wait, but just for name calling.
But karma's gonna-
no,
right.
but you.
Right, right,
I
go.
understand an assault is one thing,
Right.
but you're talking about people walking through a parking lot saying things extremely loudly that are
Right.
racist and are hurtful.
Right.
That's
But-
like a verbal assault.
But it's still
But it's freedom of speech, no?
that freedom of speech thing makes my skin crawl.
Okay.
I believe in it.
Right.
However, with freedom of speech
Right.
should come common sense. Do you agree?
oh, of course.
Yes.
That's-
With anything. Common sense should come with anything.
and that's lacking in many
It
different.
is lacking highly.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to think about it. A law was bent very much, especially a constitutional law, to oppress other minorities, being Asian or black people.
It still is.
And it still is. Do we perpetrate that? Being say, hey, he said the N word, let's put him in jail? Or do we kind of be like, you know what? He said the N word, he's dumb, he can get his ass beat, whatever, but the law should protect him from.
Well, the law's going to consider that a hate crime.
So that person that was saying that word should be corrected by the society, not by, hey, you're going to go to jail or being straight
Well,
up jail.
they can be corrected by society, just like Joey said.
Right.
These people should get their ass kicked.
Right.
Right. Because if they're racist, going to court won't change it.
No.
You should put them with those people that they're discriminating against and make them do
I
community
get it. People
service.
find always ways to discriminate against whatever feature, trait, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
People are genius like that.
They're so stupid they're smart.
Right. It knows no
Or
bounds.
they're just so smart that they're stupid.
Either or.
Well, this was very interesting. We took the
Right.
show in a deep, dark direction, didn't we?
Yeah. No, it's good conversation.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's the conversation people try to avoid. And I think even with the podcast, we're like, should we go with it? 'Cause
I believe
somebody-
that people should talk about it.
Right,
I
openly.
don't like avoiding it.
Right.
Avoiding it, it actually kind of hurts me sometimes when
Right.
I hear people go, oh well, that was in the past, blah 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 blah
Right,
blah.
right.
I'm like, if we do not address the past, we will repeat it in the future.
And we will.
If we don't do it, we gotta just
Right. Keep it fresh.
just talk about it, man. You don't have to get defensive,
Right.
Because some people do.
Well,
Right,
and
right.
it's because of this whole, Trump came out and said things that a lot of people feel and were afraid to say.
I
And
think-
because
and then
he's
it-
the president,
Right, and then it crossed over the whole politically correct thing.
No.
And now that people are fighting against that, saying he has no right saying that, then the other side is saying, well, you're a
Well, you're a
snowflake. and you're-
snowflake.
No,
you
but I
know,
think people lost the skill of arguing constructively.
there's a couple of things happening. The Meriden Talks is doing their turkey drive. They do every year.
Gobble, gobble.
And last week it was at the Casa de Roma. This week at Iliano's. November 20th. If you go and you order food at Iliano's,
10% of proceeds.
go towards 10% goes towards the turkey drive, which is supporting the Beat the Street families. And Beat the Street is they're getting a lot of good
Right.
press
Publicity.
lately, and and all of that. Make sure you check out O'Brien's Pub, 1257 Old Colin Road in Wallingford. That's
Dirty
our
Laundry
sponsor.
CT?
Yes, you want to be a sponsor. Any questions? dirtylaundryct@gmail.com. Thank you, Michael Simmons, for coming in.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, you guys.
And
rock.
Before I go, I'd like to say one thing.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. And don't forget, Thanksgiving Day is my birthday.
Woohoo!
That's enough.